And hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We do have some seriously gutter journalism, don't we? Genuinely, we really do. And in today's video it's all directed towards Nigel Farage and something that happened in the 1970s when he was at school. We are going to be watching this. But I have a theory here that of course Labour are deploying all their tactics, try to deflect as they always do, using the mainstream media, their propaganda arm, to take the attention off of them. Of course, we know that there's going to be a disaster budget announced over the next couple of days. We already seen what the OBR predicted. They've already downgraded growth until the end of Parliament every single year, meaning Labour's whole motto that they built their brand on about making growth happen within the United Kingdom has fell completely flat on its face with those OBR projections. So it's quite frankly very, very serious. And of course they want to try and take away this limelight because we're going to see an absolute disaster class happen over the next couple of days when Rachel Reeves announces her budget. Guys, let's get into this and let's have a watch of these disastrous interviews. But as always, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more, and please, if you haven't already followed our X page, please make sure you do. It is British Stand. We're going to be posting different kind of content over there. So yeah, please give it a follow. So firstly, let's go over what's being said here. We're going to get into the interview, the absolute disastrous interview from ITV News. But essentially, they're going all the way back to the 1970s when Nigel Farage was at school. And basically, there has been reports of people that he went to school with saying that he said some racist things in the 1970s. Bearing in mind, nobody really cares about the 1970s. We care about what's happening to this country right this second. But let's give you a little bit of a background story on this and we'll get to the interview. Nigel Farage, the leader of Reform UK, says he's never directly racially abused anybody. It follows allegations in the Guardian newspaper that he was racist and anti-Semitic towards pupils while at school. Well, Joe Pike is live at Westminster for us. Joe, what's the background to all this? Clive, more than a dozen former pupils told The Guardian they witnessed offensive behavior from Nigel Farage when he was at Dulwich College in South London in the late 1970s and early 1980s. One Jewish pupil said that he was targeted by Mr. Farage. Mr. Farage would tell him Hitler was right and gas them. Another pupil, who is non-white, said he was targeted and told to go back where he'd come from. And there were various other claims. Is now the party Reform UK said these allegations are entirely without foundation. But today was the first chance for Mr. Farage to respond to those allegations on the record and on camera. As you say, he denied that he had directly racially abused anyone, said many of these claims have a huge political element to them, said that these claims were from almost 50 years ago, but did concede he may have taken part in what he described as playground banter. This interview this evening was 4.5 minutes long, but here's some of what the Reform UK leader said. Right, we're going to get to that in a second here. But my goodness me, we've seen this playbook played out time and time again when you're trying to cancel an individual. Things surface from decades ago, bearing in mind comparing what society is like today. I know this generation is snowflake. And even for me, I'm a 29-year-old guy, right? And even when I was at school, it was a little bit more hardcore than what it is today. You know, the whole landscape has changed and whatnot. What you can say, what you can joke about. I mean, just look at television in the noughties. For goodness sake, it was a different culture. And going back to the 1970s, well, my goodness me, that was a completely different planet. Now, of course, there are kind of baseless, like, who are these people that have come forward, who, why are they bringing all this sort of stuff up? Now, regardless, you can say and accuse someone for anything 50 years ago. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true. This is what Nigel Farage had to say. But the ITV, he denies it. But the way that the media are trying to frame it is he's saying that, oh, he's just trying to, he's not necessarily denying it. He says, no. Have a listen. Did you racially abuse fellow pupils when you were at school? No. This is 49 years ago, by the way. 49 years ago. Have I ever tried to take it out on any individual on the basis of where they're from? No. At school, categorically on the record, you did not racially abuse fellow people. I would never ever do it in a hurtful or insulting way. That's not quite the same as not doing. It's 49 years ago. It's 49 years ago. What difference is it? What difference is the time? Isn't it, I just entered my teens. Can I remember everything that happened at school? No, I can't. Have I ever been part of an extremist organization or engaged in direct, unpleasant personal abuse, genuine abuse? On that basis, no, you're not quite. That's very, very caved. You're not quite ruling this out. The question is, did you ever racially abuse fellow pupils in school? You've caved it with a hurtful way, not with intent. What do you mean not with intent? I don't understand what you mean by not with intent. What does that mean? You wouldn't do it. But what does that mean? No. What? No. I have never directly really tried to go and hurt anybody. That is utter gutter garbage crap that we're seeing right now. They've literally got nothing on Farage. So they're bringing up something that happened 49 years ago, completely baseless in terms of Watat. I believe Farage. Regardless, I said when I was at school, banter was different, and this was in, like, the sort of too early 2010s, late noughties. The whole landscape was completely different then. Banter was different between boys, and for him to be able to remember 49 years ago, I didn't remember stuff that happened a year ago, 49 years ago, with the sort of life that he's been living is almost ludicrous for him to expect that to remember all these things. But it's completely like nonsense. Like, everybody has been involved in banter and doing stuff as a child. You can't be held accountable for what you did when you were a teenager. I mean, unless it was completely serious. But having banter, playground banter especially, when the landscape was completely different 50 years ago, is absolutely ludicrous. As I said at the start of this is certainly to try and deflect and take the attention off of K-Star and this Labor government. The mainstream media and the Labor propaganda arm are doing their best at this moment in time, because we know what's coming. Is it going to be a disastrous budget? They really cared about people's past. What about this? Karmama. Remember this article? How a young Karmama ended up in a communist spine file after joining a Czechoslovakian work camp during the Cold War. Now, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Why does Nan get brought up by sort of K-Star? I'd say that's a little bit worse. No, my goodness, really is. But anyway, this is what he said ahead of the budget about K-Star as well. And we have a prime minister who seems to be now obsessed with me. No, not in that way. I promise you, every prime minister's questions, all he can do is hurl abuse. And this is because never before has a government with a big majority collapsed in public opinion and public trust as quickly as Starmer's government. The doesn't believe in a single thing. He's a man without principles. He is not a leader. He is bad for Britain. But the good news is he won't be long for the job. Now he makes me laugh actually. The weakest prime minister that I can think of in my lifetime now calls me spineless. He's all right on one thing. He is obsessed. And the reason why they have a good reason to be. Labour are losing voters at the bucket load. Genuinely, they are this is mental. Really is. They are truly fearful of Farage government. That's why they're using nasty tactics now and trying to take the attention onto his past so it fits the narrative that they've been pushing about Farage and reform being racist. So now they've got a real substance, 'cause I've never found anything ever in my life of Farage being racist. I don't think he's perfect, but I've never seen anything that has said that he is racist whatsoever. So they're trying to do everything they can, crawl in there, dig deep and try and find something to go, he's racist. And then that can fuel their argument. But guys, do let me know your thoughts on this whole thing down there in the comment section below. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. And don't forget to follow our X. Please, it's British Stand. There's 283,000 of you on here, guys. Come on, follow my X page. Thank you. Take care. Peace.